So the season's winding down. I almost thought it was going to be 37 overnight last Thursday. It's Saturday. But then the forecast bumped up, which is good, so all this stuff isn't dead. Here's my loofahs. I'm going to be like bathing for decades. Grapes did well this year. I hope they survive the winter. Amaranth is finally starting to ripen. The seeds are so small that I don't understand how you're supposed to make quote-unquote popcorn with it, but that's fine. I think I'll just have amaranth everywhere next year. Hopefully you can hear me over that plane. That zucchini's dead. The far one's dead. Those two are still alive, but putting out kind of small fruits. This is butternut vine, finally died back, so I just pulled out all three of these are on this one vine, conveniently. This still set some more fruits. Hopefully they weren't pollinated by the pumpkins that I want to say are winter luxury pie over there, but I can't be certain. So maybe I'll just leave them and see if I get seeds, even though I did order more seeds. So what is on my foot? Dead pumpkin leaves. So maybe I'll let it all grow in and see what happens. I mean, there are flowers to pollinate against. Also, pumpkins have this problem that even now they're setting out female flowers. It even still has some there. This has renewed vigor. These are all the tomatoes that I chucked over here to grow as volunteers next year. The birds need to work a little bit harder. There's still seeds in here. That okra, I swear, is like 10 feet tall to rival when this amaranth was up. I think this, nope, this is still that Brazilian pumpkin. It keeps growing and growing and growing. I think it doesn't have female, well, maybe it does. The occasional female bloom on it still, but hey, if it wants to grow, that's fine. I did chuck some of the fallen tomatoes from in that apple tree over here. I definitely found at least one of them and chucked it in the bed. Hopefully the one landed in a bed somewhere. What else? Let's do a quick walk through. The berry bushes, the gooseberries and the currants are sprouting again as they usually do here for the fall. The pears are finally starting to ripen. I went through and picked everything that was mostly ripe already this morning. Well, this morning, but like an hour ago. Because it's gonna rain tonight and all of tomorrow. Good thing it didn't frost, because it would have frosted right when this thing is getting going, and also it's long enough that I really don't know how I'm gonna twine it around everything. Maybe I'm gonna pull it from over here into this one, and maybe I'll let it cascade down like everything has on this one. It's bent itself, right? And then the black cherries are slowly ripening too. Those are the best. Where are they? There's still some more in here somewhere. There's 3. There's a few. Those are the ones that I want the most, and I mean, at least they grew in this year, but I'm greedy and I want more. So this thing definitely outgrew the blight, which is nice. It will be the survivor for next year. I did buy yellow pear tomato seeds for next year before I knew if it was going to work out this year, just in case, right? And I picked up a bunch of the ground cherries yesterday. I have a small bowl full. I already made my jam a while ago, so these are just for fresh eating, I guess. More loofahs. Loofahs everywhere. The pumpkin that tried to set over here didn't make it. This butternut, not quite finished ripening because the vine isn't dead yet. Here's those Brazilian pumpkins. I think this vine is dying back. This is the one that's still growing on the other side, and that's the one that set the most fruits too. Actually, it's good that this one didn't set more fruits, because it made that weird lopsided pumpkin. Wait, is it that one? Yeah, it's the one that I picked over here. The Brazilian one that I already picked that looked like it was the right shape, but it had some blobby parts on it too. So maybe it's good that that one didn't make so many fruits, and I won't save the seeds of that one for next year in favor of the more kind of Cinderella carriage shaped ones. What else? This is amaranth, the one that calls itself Cavalloo. These guys are still ripening. But I also have Malokia, and I was looking online, and the way that you can tell it's Malokia is it has these kind of, where can I find a good one? It has these kind of tendrils out of the bottom of the leaf. So that's how can you see that? So that's how I knew it, to pick it and eat it, and it wasn't some other weed that was gonna poison me. So great that it's growing in now that it's almost frozen. Oops. There's some more. There's a female pumpkin bloom, because that's totally seasonable. There's like 4 more in the pumpkin patch out there, and also I had a surprise half-ripened pumpkin, which was nice. This pumpkin might actually make it. Like ripen before the freeze. I have my doubts about this one. I don't know if there's any more in there. I guess I'll find out soon as it grows in, especially from the rain. Here's the additional female blooms, right? Wrong time of the year. You have maybe a month and a half to ripen between now and usually our hard freeze is like 3 days before Thanksgiving, but we have some frost before then, so I have my doubts. And there's that surprise pumpkin. Neither I nor the deer found it before now, so hopefully they continue not finding it, because I don't want to play that game. What else? More female blooms over here, unseasonable, right? We'll go look at the figs, because they're so interesting. We'll look at the figs and then go back into the garden. And then mints and everything are doing well. It's at the point that I live here so long that I find like catnip in the middle of the yard and stuff, which is nice. So I can bring it in from the cats. Rhubarb is happier now that it's colder. Berries. Oh no, the deer got to this. Well, that bites. Hopefully they don't eat the whole thing down. Figs. Lots and lots and lots of figs. I ate a bunch yesterday. I had like 5 for breakfast. You can tell that they're ripe when they hang down, and also the little holes on the bottom open up. So this one isn't quite ripe yet. That one either. Has still a day. Maybe I'll go pick it tomorrow. But first year that they're finally actually ripening for me, as I pick all the seeds off myself. So let's go back. So I think you can see the tomato in there, right? Just kind of all over the place. I don't know if there's any pink tomatoes right now. I just went through and picked everything so it doesn't crack in the rain tomorrow. So, man, seeds all over. Oh, and I don't know if we looked at this last time. I think I have a pawpaw that actually grew. I don't know if it's the only one or not. Hopefully it's actually pawpaw, but right there, it kind of looks like pawpaw leaves. So, let's go back towards the garden. And my knee is still bad. I blew up my back picking pumpkins 2 weekends ago. I couldn't even stand up, let alone walk, for a few days. Couldn't put socks on. It was really cold. It was terrible. I can finally walk again, but the knee is definitely holding me back, which might be good, because I shouldn't walk fast. That's the Joe Pye weed, the kind of tan flower heads. So I hope it spreads around. Maybe I'll go back and pick a couple and then throw it around the garden after we finish this vlog here. So maybe we'll look at the jujubes and then we'll look at the rest of the garden. Maybe we'll look at the rest of the garden from the jujubes. And the maypops are also ripening. Don't touch this because it's the seeds. There's a maypop. When they fall, they're ready. Oof. There's another one. nice being able to reach the ground again. I saw a nice hawk make off with a mouse yesterday, which is great. So maybe here's the rest of the garden. I don't know if you can see it, but my gigantic gourds that I let grow way too long. And I mean, at this seed, they can just grow, at this stage, they can just grow in for seed, right? And then I have my tomatillo. I've been getting, you know, maybe 10-ish tomatillos a week now, which is nice. I've been chucking them into my salsa that I've been making. I'm still making like 6 pints of salsa a week at least. More like 8. There's the best strawberry patch somehow in the shade. I went through and harvested the purple noodle beans yesterday and made them into dinner. And I don't know if I mentioned right there, I had a bunch of peanuts, right? So I pulled them up, I harvested a bunch of peanuts. Half of them were unripe. I pulled them off anyway, like a dum-dum. But then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna plant it back in because it had sent out pegs that hadn't reached the ground, so maybe they'll actually develop now. And I'll get more peanuts for the frost. We'll see. Right, so only one jujube on this tree, and it looks like it's ripe. So I'm gonna pick it. Terrible little tree this year. I mean, good that it grew in lots of leaves, but one fruit and that's it, right? And then this one grew in way more. Look at all these nice fruits. Ah, that one might look like insects got into it. Oh, is this one ripe? Can I pick it? I'm gonna pick it. Nice. So this one has way more. I didn't realize they were finally starting to ripen. I'm gonna pick these. This is gonna be my lunch. I have a pocket full of maypops and jujubes. How exciting. So hopefully the deer don't steal the rest of them, because I don't want to share with them. So let's walk back into the garden and see if we missed anything. I can't walk on not flat ground because it hurts my back. I don't know what pea that is. So I didn't plant peas there. Maybe it's one of those wild nitrogen fixers. Let's give this a shake and see if anybody falls off. Ooh. Ooh. Got some more. I'll have to bring my basket around. I'll bring my basket around afterwards. Yep. Good. I'll bring my basket around and pick those up later. Ooh, that's good. I already have a big bowl full in my fridge too, so maybe it's jelly making time. What else? I'm sure the birds are angry that I'm walking through here, but it's my garden. Did we look at the 10-foot tall okra? I can't even reach it. I have to bend over the stalks and hope that I'm not snapping them in half. So they'll probably be, so they're not big enough today, and then after the rain tomorrow they'll be too big, but that's fine. There's more maypops in there, but I can't really bend over to get to them. Well, I have to take my picker upper with me. Violets are blooming here and there, which is nice. The strawberries came back now that they have sunshine. The skirret did amazingly well this year. Maybe I should try to harvest some seeds, but I gotta take it easy-ish. Little tomatoes. I'm guessing that they're the yellow ones that I always grow. Here's that. Man, thought I strung this up better. This is that overgrown gourd. Let go, let go. This is like Rapunzel, let your hair down, right? Yep, don't break. The flower to come around. Twining this one-handed is interesting. I don't know how much else it's still gonna grow this year, right? Because It's not that warm anymore, but we'll call this good. So there's the peanut tops. There's some gigantic gourds. I don't know what assassin beetle that is, but fine, eat your fill. From Maypops I have eaten. And then you can tell how big this guy is because he's got stripes on him. Like, that's a full-size gourd. Yep. Look at those gigantic gourds against my hand. That starts all the way up here. More of them. I don't think we looked at the carnivores in a little while. Let's take a look at those. Multifida's been kind of angry all year long. I don't know. And then the pitchers. The pitchers did well. I repotted them late last year, I think. So I have three pots of Umlaftiana because I split up the Flava into 2 pots and the other one didn't make it, so fine. I don't think I have any surviving strawberries in there, but fine, it's the purple asparagus. Shiso has finished blooming and is dropping its leaves, so I'll get some nice Shiso volunteers against next year. I hammered that down with a mallet because it had rotted from the inside. This used to be the inside of that post, so good job providing organic material. I should chuck these carrots out, but like out into the flower gardens, but fine. Oh, and there's more gourds up top too. Like, there's one hanging down. I just harvested 2 that were hanging through the trellis, and I think there's more just like laying up there, the fact that it's so heavy. And then here's the other side of that tomatillo. I don't know why I'm out of breath, but that's fine. Noodle beans. So maybe that's it. I don't know if this is a basil or not, but it's the only survivor if it is. So next year, this was legumes, right? So I'm gonna put nightshades in there. Actually, you see this from where I dug it up? Seedlings, and this is a tomato. Definitely a tomato, and there's some carrots and stuff in there, so oops. Didn't mean to reinvigorate it, but I guess I accidentally did. I put a bunch of compost in there, maybe it's from that. So, but I think I'll still put nightshades in here, and then more nightshades over here. Maybe I'll string it up like this to have a tomato patch here next year. I'm gonna put a layer of manure on everything. There was a nightshade over there, so I think I'm gonna make that beans next year. I just ordered a ton of beans on Etsy. I'm gonna make my own land brace, I decided. Since this is nightshades, it's gonna be, well, there's a legume over there, the noodle beans, so I don't know if I'm gonna do legumes or maybe I'll just chuck sweet potatoes in here and see what happens again, because I can't ever make sweet potatoes grow. Since this was beans too this year and gourds, I think I'm gonna put nightshades in there. Man, seeds all over my leg. Do you see this? Seeds. The ones that stick to you. So, I think I'll make that tomatoes. And then over here, it was beans too. So, maybe I'll put squash in. I don't know. Maybe put squash in here and it'll get lots of sunshine and then train it around the rest of the garden. We'll see. So I think I'm going to move all the tomatoes that are rotting on the bottom and then move them to over there, and then make this pole beans, and I make this one pole beans too. So I'm going to move all of the ground cherries that have fallen into some other bed too, and make this pole beans because it's already got posts. I don't know if I'm going to leave that one where the zucchinis were tomatoes, because I've been chucking tomatoes over there. But maybe I make that bush beans. And then that bed, I'm not going to plant anything to see if the grapes come up, to see what survivors I have. And there's 2 apricot trees in there still too. And I think I'm going to plant the green gauge plum seeds that I got from the grocery store. I ate the plums. They were absolutely amazing. Everything that I'd hoped for and what I think a plum should taste like. So they're stratifying in the fridge, I guess, for like 6 months, and then I'm gonna plant them out there in the spring, and then, or maybe like February or something, so they get some freeze, right? And then maybe here I'll put that, it's related to okra, but you eat its leaves instead of the seeds, primarily, instead of the seeds pods primarily. Oh man, look, there's another pumpkin that's set. It's not gonna have enough time. And then I don't know, maybe over there too. This will probably be amaranth again because I shook this and seeds came out, so this will probably be amaranth forever. Although I don't know how to tell this one from this that looks like a weed, because this looks the same to me, so I don't know. And there's some other weeds around here that look the same, like that thing sort of looked like that. Anyway, this is long enough. Oh man, is that another female bloom? It is not gonna make it. Okay, thank goodness it's not. That's just a leaf. My parsnips, I can't wait. See you guys next time.